You can do a lot with garage doors now. When I was a kid, you couldn't see in most of them, but there's all kinds of options for glass windows. Some are glass themselves or appear to be glass. Jeff Gablesberg is joining me here on the Check a Pro radio show from Jolly Goat Garage Doors to talk about safety with windows and glass in garage doors. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great, Joe. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you. A couple of things. Number one, is it safe for security if one has glass? And then number two, I want to talk to you today about, is it dangerous to have glass as far as getting, cut or injured with glass in garage doors? Because we didn't always have glass moving up and down in our garage doors traditionally.
Yeah, it's great questions. The glass options have gotten a lot more impressive over the past few years, especially in the past couple of years. They've really come a long way. The traditional glass panes that were in garage doors for the longest time were just a standard single pane glass. They weren't tempered, anything like that.
Mm.
So they could be broken out if a baseball hit it, a basketball hit it. Somebody wanted to, for security purposes, somebody wanted to break a piece of that glass. They could just about as easily as they could a piece of glass that was, let's say, in a front door of a home, an entry door. Nowadays, there's more options. Those glass panes are still available, but a lot of times what we see now is a tempered glass, which is going to provide a lot more security. Also a lot more safety in case a glass does break. It's not going to be as fractional to where it can injure somebody. Also, as far as security goes, there's security glass that we can do now. There's also tint that we can add to glass that's hurricane tints, a tint that they use in high wind stress situations in the coastal areas that you can literally, there's 2x4s. They shoot 2x4s for testing out of these machines into this piece of glass, and it doesn't go through at a couple hundred miles an hour. So there's a lot of, if somebody wants the look of glass, and they really want that appearance, but they want security, there's always options that we can give them.
Yeah, I've seen those videos of the 2x4 being launched through glass. And what's nice about some of these tints is they really support that glass. So the glass is glass, and without that tinting on it, which is kind of like it's like a net. It absorbs, a lot of that impact. And
Yeah.
it's huge. So speaking of, glass doors, are those doors that are totally glass, or are they a plexiglass? Is it a composite? What are those doors that we see now that you can actually look through, especially from the inside out? And then some actually I've seen you can kind of change them to opaque or clear. Is that right?
Sure. Yeah, there's all options there. So we call that in the industry, for the listeners, we call that a full view glass garage door, a full view garage door. Being pretty obvious, you have a full view from inside or out, with the glass options on those doors. Those are getting really popular. We do a lot of those at Jolly Go Garage Doors. We love those doors. And yes, you can use glass. There's double pane insulated glass we can use. There's, smoked glass. They've even got stained glass now. We've got pretty much any option you can think of. Almost all the time, 99% of the time, it's always going to be a tempered material. There is some plexi type materials we can use as well. So we'll use those on interior situations. If somebody has a full view glass garage door that they want to use interior, but don't really need it for security purposes, we can use a lighter weight product and get away from the actual glass. All of those can be either factory tinted or smoked. They can also be frosted, or a lot of what's getting really popular these days is we're actually putting in the regular tempered glass, because it's the lowest cost for that door. And then we'll have a local tint company that we work with come out and actually tint the garage door to whatever the homeowner wants. Or the business owner at that point. And that looks really nice as well. And you can get tint glass that's actually frosted now. So it looks like a nice frosted window that it's obscure, so you can't actually see through it, but it illuminates. So it lets a lot of light through. And that's getting really popular as well.
It's really interesting. Things have changed so much. And
They really have.
I find that people today are really investing a lot into their homes. and their homes are an extension of who they are. So for decades, the car people drove was an extension of their personality. I think now the garage door is. I do.
A lot of times, yeah, a lot of times it really is. And to get back to your the listener's original question about security, you know, whenever you're working with these tempered windows and tempered glass, it's honestly they're more secure than what the windows in the home are these days. So we hardly ever come across an issue, and we install hundreds of tens of thousands of garage doors. And I can't recall us ever getting a phone call saying somebody broke into our home through the glass in the garage door. It's just not very common.
Sure. It's not just typical glass, even though it is. Jeff Gablesberg, as always, thank you so much for joining me here today on Check A Pro Radio from
Absolutely.
Jolly Goat.
Thanks, Joe. Have a good one, buddy.
You too.